him!
I got your back, heart attack kid.
Conditions here are favorable for wildfires.
There's the cat that's coming out right now.
That welcoming attitude is why the Austin man is missed by so many.
Well, here in North Austin, you'll see noticeably fewer tents set up with people living here.
Reporting live in downtown Austin, Melanie Torrey, CBS Austin News. Today, Bear Soborowski is stomping his new light-up shoes down the halls at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. They're joyful steps in his long journey. When CBS Austin first introduced you to Bear, he was about to start dialysis.
Unfortunately, dialysis actually failed for him after about a 2-month period.
Whoa! Mom Mallory explains that escalated Bear's need for a transplant. The would-be rambunctious toddler was wearing down. Then, the call she and Dad Keith had been waiting for.
Not only had someone gone through the whole process of testing, but that they were a match and that they were ready to proceed and ready to schedule a date. It felt like my whole body was vibrating. I was so excited and so happy.
The following 90 seconds just went in slow-mo.
The extreme joy followed by nerves and anxiety.
It was like, oh, please don't let this be too good to be true.
That high was definitely followed by a lot of questions and a lot of pondering, especially knowing that for a time our donor was anonymous.
This week, for the first time together, the entire family met their donor, Jane Callahan.
So good to see you. It's so great to see you.
We both said to reply.
Hey, Betty, you give big hugs.
And I kind of felt like outside of my body with that meeting. It was surreal, one of the most beautiful moments of my life.
Jane, a mother of two, teacher and fitness instructor, first learned about the Soborowskis after coming across this CBS Austin news story.
His story just popped up on my phone and I clicked on it.
If we had a living donor ready to go, we could go tomorrow.
Now they're looking for that person willing to give a kidney, since donors can live long, healthy lives with just one.
When I read it, I just saw that he was A positive. I'm like, oh, I'm A positive. And then it said that they needed a smaller person because he's 2. And I'm like, well, I'm a smaller person. And then it said that he was local.
Jane called to volunteer as Bear's potential donor and began extensive testing.
It's like a match made in heaven.
Dr. Eileen Brewer is Bear's doctor.
When we have a living donor, we can schedule everything. Everybody can be on the top of their game, and things just go better.
I just feel like that's what God was calling me to do.
A stranger no more, making the dreams of Bear's parents and all who love him come true.
What really touches me just to see how, it'll make me emotional, to see how Mallory, was very happy when he received a kidney. And I really wanted to give because I thought, if that was my kid, that I would want someone to do it for me too.
Bear and Jane forever connected through one life-changing act of love.
My best friend was like, but what if your kids need your kidney one day? I'm like, well, then I would hope that someone else would do the same for me because someone needs it now.
The woman Bear's family calls an angel, answering their prayer shared far and wide through a news story.
What if that news story didn't run? Where would we be today? Where would we be with the transplant journey or with dialysis? Where would Bear's health be? Ultimately, the stars aligned, and I feel that God put us all in the right place at the right time to make the right decisions to help save his life.
They needed someone, and I felt like I was that someone.
It's really hard to know what to expect.
The Johnson City Coffee Company is nestled under some giant oaks just off Highway 290.
Did you want a medium or dark roast?
It's a prime spot to sip a latte and keep an eye on the surge of visitors coming to see the moon completely block out the sun for 4 minutes.
It's possible, I don't know, at some point Monday that Highway 290 in front of us will just be a parking lot, and no one will move.
Owner Nancy Woodward says Johnson City has been told to prepare for 50,000 visitors. Fredericksburg is 30 miles west and is estimating 100,000 people will crowd into town by Monday.
I've heard people from small towns in other parts of the country talk about what happened when they had total solar eclipses, and it's actually kind of terrifying. Like, we could be overrun by mobs.
Cherie Mayfield is making sure that no matter how big the crowds, everyone can stay caffeinated.
We are stickering so many cups.
Cherie chit-chats with customers all day and says so far no one has mentioned being scared off by Monday's gloomy weather forecast.
Even though we have, a forecast of a little bit of rain and clouds, I think people are still excited and they're gung-ho to come and see, what they can see.
Regardless of the weather, businesses in Johnson City, Fredericksburg, and Kerrville say they just have to be ready for a tidal wave of tourism. Here at the Johnson City Coffee Company, they filled this horse trailer with all the supplies they'll need to handle 100,000 visitors rolling in on Highway 290.
I think it will be the busiest day ever. I do, yeah. I'm certainly stocked and staffed for the busiest day ever, so we'll see.
Nancy says it's a positive sign that her 3 rental properties are still fully booked.
Nobody's canceled on my B&Bs, no.
Nancy thinks if anyone decides Johnson City is not the place where darkness meets delight, it will be day trippers who are watching the hour-by-hour forecast.
And maybe on the day of, the people that were going to drive from Austin for the day won't show up. I don't think we'll miss them at this point. So I think we've got all the business coming that we can handle.
In Johnson City, Betty Cross, CBS Austin News.
If you saw Thomas Wilson on the court in Dripping Springs, you may not know he's one of the top 10 professional pickleball players in the world. And you definitely wouldn't know he had high-risk heart surgery this summer. It all started when he felt his heart rate shoot up and stay that way during tournaments.
It wasn't every time I played, it was when I was on center court. You have a little bit more tingling and a little bit more adrenaline, and so that is what would trigger my heart, and then it would just get outrageous.
Several doctors were unable to pinpoint the problem until they went to the Texas Cardiac Arrhythmia Institute at St. David's Medical Center.
The team at St. David's, Dr. Horton, with their expertise, they found out what the issue was immediately when I spent over a year elsewhere trying to figure out what it was.
Dr. Rodney Horton diagnosed Wilson with a congenital heart defect, creating multiple connections between the atrium and the ventricle.
If you have a skip just at the right time, you can potentially conduct down one but not both of the connections and then go back up the other one.
Warning signs are typically fainting and abrupt, rapid heartbeat. In Wilson's case, his heart was beating upwards of 300 beats per minute.
I've treated people with this type of condition for about 35 years and thought I'd seen everything, and his was the fastest conducting pathway I had ever seen.
He was like, don't even walk fast, like you need surgery tomorrow morning. Like it was that urgent, which is crazy because I was playing high-level pickleball for a year, and my heart got that high like 5 or 6 times.
The surgery was high risk, but went so smoothly, Wilson was back on the court and winning tournaments in about a week.
I believe God had a hand in it, and I'm just thankful to be alive.
And thankful he didn't stop searching for answers when something didn't feel right.
I think it's one of those things that's easy to just sweep under the rug, like, oh, my heart's fluttering, I'm fine. And it's not like I wasn't having severe pain. I wasn't super out of breath when these episodes were happening. It was just something felt off.
Melanie Torrey, CBS Austin News.